Good evening, everybody. I'm Mark.
And I'm Britton.
And today we're going to talk about a movie, Minority Report. That's it. Let's get started.
Alrighty.
No preamble. Britton, tell us about the movie.
So the movie stars...
Hurry up.
The movie stars one, Tom Cruise, where he's... where they...
Faster.
Where he's in the Institute of...
French.
You want to start over?
I'm having a good time. No,
All right.
we're fine. Go ahead. Tell me about the movie.
So the movie stars Tom Cruise, where he works in this institute where they solve crime cases that before they actually occur through these
pre-crime.
Yeah. Through these these three psychics that work as a hive mind.
Mm-hmm.
So
now it's kind of, this is where it gets a little bit, I guess, tough to decipher. But basically, they can see it's actually a confusing movie now I think about it.
It is. There's a lot of kind of jargon. There's a lot of kind of rules and phenomena you have to learn about.
But basically, they spit out these balls, like through their mind pictures of who's gonna die, and who killed them, and this crime unit, they stop the murder before it happens. And so we go in one day, and lo and behold, the ball that gets spit out has the murderer's name of our main character, John Anderton.
Yes. And it is just an adventure of John Anderson trying to figure out what is going on. There was a term, a minority report given,
which means basically that
it's. Go on.
No, I was gonna say sometimes the person who commits the murder wasn't going to actually commit the murder. There was kind of a free will being an option. There was a lesser precognition that they spit out, which basically is like, he was gonna murder him, but he decided not to.
Yeah, it's a less likely report that there was an alternative future.
But it does kind of raise the question of, like, well, if we're not 100% sure now that these people are going to commit murder, does that mean that that we've been imprisoning people who've not only not committed any crimes, but were never going to commit any crimes?
Yeah, it is a kind of it sounds like a difference between destiny and free will.
Mm-hmm.
There was another term that had to be kind of recognized, was something called an echo, where a precog, which was one of these three psychics, would receive a repeat image of what was going to happen, even though they already received it, and usually the technicians just delete it because it's just a recording, the same recording. So it turns out, the whole spoilers for this 20-year-old movie. Shut up.
Go on.
Spoilers that Tom Cruise's precog thing was kind of a setup, and since he knew his future, he had the choice of not actually murdering the gentleman.
That's one way to put it, but
and the setup being is Tom Cruise's kid was kidnapped 6 years earlier, and never figured out what happened, and it was set up to make it look like this guy was some kind of pervert and kidnapped his kid, but Tom Cruise or John Anderton kind of held it together and just arrested him,
but killed him by accident.
Well, he didn't kill him by accident. The other guy, he was kind of paid to die. And, he kind of kills himself through John Anderton.
And, basically, with all this, it turns out that someone from his crime team use the echoes to their advantage so that they could commit a crime and basically kill somebody without being caught.
Yeah.
And so while this guy is trying to unravel this mystery of the echo, he's also trying to basically not get killed himself or caught himself. Now, that's a very long-winded explanation for what this movie's about, but that is basically what happens. So let's go into the stuff that I do want to talk about with this movie.
So this movie has kind of aged oddly.
Yeah.
I know that nowadays films tend to stick with one tone.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, that's a big thing that I will say about this movie, is that tonally, it's really all over the place. It doesn't know what it wants to be, and this is my first time seeing it, and I can't say I didn't like it. I did enjoy it, but not for the reasons I think the film wanted me to enjoy, because for the first hour and a half, this movie is just fucking goofy. There's no other way to put it. It's a goofy movie.
There are
it's not a goofy movie, but
oh yeah, there are just odd moments of just of silliness, like where one of the technologies that they have are these kind of retinal scans that are everywhere, where they'll scan your eye and then give you a personalized advertisement, or they'll scan your identity to give you clearance. And in order for Tom Cruise, to kind of get away from this, to escape this, he has an eye transplant by Peter Stormare, or is it Peter Stormare?
I think it's Stormare.
So he gets the surgery, but he still needs access to his old job, which for some reason they didn't lock him out.
Yeah.
Through some goofy interaction, he drops his own eyes, and they're going down an incline, and he's just trying to grab his own eyes before they fall down into a grate.
Like he's literally they're like marbles rolling away from him, and he's like kind of hunched over, like no, don't fall, no. I'm like, what is this now? You gotta back up a little bit, because people might think that this is the only goofy scene in the movie, but
no.
it's not. Like, the movie starts out like with the arrest of a guy who's about to commit murder, just to set the whole thing up. All right, that's fine. That's cool sci-fi stuff, even if there's a little. It does have like a lot of stupid little nuances spread into it.
Yeah.
So then after that, we basically get into the the meat of the plot, where, oh shit, I'm gonna commit a murder.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for me to make my run. And then we start getting action sequences.
Yeah.
Oh boy, do we start getting action sequences. And they are dumb. They are dumb.
Oh, you're talking about the cars?
I'm starting with the cars.
Okay. All right.
The cars jumping, like,
oh, okay.
I remember that was in the trailer, and
the cars didn't bother me as much.
It didn't bother me, but it was definitely like, that was the first time I think I've ever watched a movie. Like, I can usually be engrossed in a movie, or at least the movie does a good enough job of suspending my disbelief, or engrossing me in this land of make-believe.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I was like, he's not on anything. He's just standing on a green screen. Like, I could just see the green screen.
Yeah. I don't really blame the action sequence as much. Like, if it would have been an alright action sequence done with modern technology. It was just
maybe
it just didn't blend well.
I mean,
because it is still 20-year-old CGI.
That's true. It did, but that whole sequence started off with them, like, the cars going down a 90-degree angle, and he's holding on to these sleek cars, like sleek rounded cars
with his Spider-Man hands.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, this is kind of stupid. And he's like jumping from car to car, and I'm like, all right, well, that I can forgive it a little bit because it's a little bit older. So then he gets done with that action sequence and moves on to the next one, where there's his cop friends who are trying to bring him in.
That one did not age well.
And it is just, they're flying around on jetpacks.
Yeah.
I don't even need to say anything more. They're flying around on jetpacks. It's silly. It's goofy. Don't get me wrong. I liked it, but it was silly. He's like kicking the guys on a jetpack. He jumps onto one guy's jetpack and they're skidding across the ground. There's like 3 guys on one jetpack at one point, just flying through the air like sky police. It is so stupid.
It is like they were flying through the air in a manner reminiscent of a Peter Pan play.
It was like I was watching a farce. I was watching a sci-fi comedy.
Or it's, you know what it seemed like? It seemed like we were watching a cheesy TV action show.
Yeah,
like the RoboCop television show from the 90s.
Exactly, just with a little bit bigger budget.
Yeah.
And then we move on from that to literally right after that, he goes into his, this factory where Colin Farrell's fighting him. And they're on top, they're on top of this, car, just fighting back and forth. It's a stupid fight to begin with.
Yeah.
But basically, Tom Cruise gets built into a car and then drives away in the car.
I thought that was neat.
I thought that was stupid.
I thought when he injects that thing under his chin and he gets the goop face.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry, we're getting there.
All right.
Because next on there, after he drives away, he hops a fence, and then he starts getting attacked by man-eating plants.
Oh, I forgot about the plants.
And then this hammy lady starts laying out a whole bunch of exposition in I know you said you liked her because she was quirky, and she kind of was.
Yeah, she gave off the air of an eccentric scientist woman.
I felt like I was watching an M. Night Shyamalan film with how weird her acting was.
Oh, and don't get me wrong, she was magic school bus level of acting, but I thought she was appropriate.
Then we move from that sequence to him having to get the eye transplant with Peter Stormare, and so he gets his eye transplant. He's like, all right, now you can't take off your bandages or else you might go blind. And I put a sandwich in the fridge and some milk for you. And so he wakes up hungry and he goes into the fridge and there's nothing but moldy food and the good sandwich, but he's blind. He can't see because he's got bandages, so he's rooting around, and then he grabs this moldy sandwich and eats it, and he's like, oh, he starts spitting it out, and he knocks down the good milk and grabs the chunky milk and drinks it, and he starts spitting that out. It's like I was watching Dude, Where's My Car? All of a sudden.
And then there was a bucket of ice, I think, that was used to transplant organs. Yeah. And he starts drinking that and he spits that out.
And then we go right from that sequence to the stupid, okay, they actually weren't too stupid, but these spider leg things that are scanning everybody, and they just start tickling him until they scan his eye, and they're like, oh, it's a different guy, so they get out of there, and then immediately after that, we go to him injecting this goop face into his chin so that he can blend in. He just looks like...
It was like Tom Cruise today.
Yeah, he just looks a little bit older.
Yeah.
And nobody recognizes him, but he... the special effect was just him making all these goofy faces while these he looked like Droopy Dog.
Yeah.
And then we go in, and then it's the eyeballs rolling down, and I just couldn't take it after that. I was
and then he presses the flush handle on the pool where they have the psychics, where we don't know where that goes.
And apparently neither do the cops, because they're let him go. And then we get to I'd say the third act, really, of the movie, and then it just goes from being goofy sci-fi to, all right, now this is, we're talking about weight and consequences, and how people can commit murder in this system, and it starts getting serious all of a sudden, super serious. And, don't get me wrong, I did like that, too. I actually thought it was actually engaging. This was, if the whole movie was kind of like this, I think it would have been a lot more, I think it would have been a lot more well received by me. I know a lot of people like this movie. I would have probably liked it as oh, this is a really good science fiction, almost classic.
Yeah.
But because of the first 2/3 of the movie, I'm like, oh, this is a treat. I'm watching this again for different reasons. This will not be the first time I watch this movie, or the only time rather.
I think the thing that made. That would have made this a classic. I'd never read the book by Philip K. Dick, but what the city that it kind of needed was a kind of gritty Blade Runner type city. I think it was a little bit too polished, but then again, it was supposed to be
pretty nice,
almost utopian in its presentation. Then again, it had like eyeless drug lords and like these kind of weird back alley areas. So I don't know what the message was. Was it supposed to be that the Utopia is a facade
it's a Potemkin wall? They're just hiding all the undesirables, but on the other side of it, like,
because I think it only they could only predict murder. Mm-hmm. Like they couldn't predict any of the other horrific crimes.
I think at the end of the movie they were like launching the whole crime net thing, which would have been basically like free will doesn't exist anymore. If we think you're going to commit a crime, then you're going to prison.
Yeah.
Not just any prison. We're sending you to tube prison,
which sounded wonderful. Like the wheelchair guy was like, first you're gonna have your. For some reason, he had this odd, like, I don't know if it was like an attempt at Brooklyn or an attempt at Maine, but it was like, your dreams are gonna flash before your eyes, and then all your dreams will come true. I'm like, this is prison. Like, I'll volunteer. Oh, and we forgot that there was another guy who did pretty much the same thing for a price. And halfway through the movie, he goes to this club. Yeah. Where there's this weird guy who like hacks into the brain of the psychic that he steals. Mm-hmm. And so like there was just people there just engaging in their wildest dreams and fantasies, like in a simulated environment, which is basically what the prison is. So all you have to do is pretend to kill somebody, and then you can get the same thing for free forever. Like, you can pretend to kill me if I don't want to kill you, but you'll get paradise. Well, no, not right now. We're not there yet. Oh, now I'll just go to prison, the bad prison, and I'll be dead. Yeah. Well, yeah. Then Britton gets paradise. Oh, damn, it didn't work. One of these days I'm gonna trick you. I'll get you. Though, I read an interesting thing in the trivia. What's where that? They were saying that the ending of the movie, I'm just gonna, this is gonna be some spoiler, but basically, what's his name? Tom Cruise, John Anderton, he gets freed from his, his wild dream fantasy prison, and he catches the bad guy who did it. He exposes it, he breaks down the crime net, he gets back with his wife, or the pre-crime net, he gets back with his wife, they're gonna have another kid, and everyone lives happily ever after. Some people were saying that, these are all his wild fantasies just in the tube. Oh, so everything that happened after he was arrested is just... might just be his wild simulation. Yeah. Which is an interesting idea. Yeah, and I would accept that. Yeah, and now that's going, I guess, a little bit into the Total Recall. Yeah. Where the squall is dead. Yeah, exactly. From Final Fantasy VIII, but yeah, I think that's a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool one. Yeah. So I don't think the events that take place really it was worth shutting down the precog. Yeah. Like screw free will, right? Like it's I say that you don't have to arrest them before they commit the crime. Like maybe during in the act. See, I actually have a solution that might rectify the problems of free will with it, and still keep the crime, the pre-crime system up and running, and still continue that utopian society. All right. Which is, if you are, I guess, pegged or targeted as someone who's going to commit a crime, the alert goes to maybe like flashes in front of your eyes where it's like, hey, you're going to commit a crime in X amount of hours. Now you have the choice of whether or not you're going to commit the crime or not. And if if the police get to you as you're
still in the process of committing the crime, then you deserve to go to prison because you were going to do it.
Or you can detain the person for 24 hours.
Because I think, giving the people the choice to do it, because that's what the little psychic woman was doing when they were running through the mall. She was like, saying to people like, don't go home, he knows.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. If you tell the people that there might be a crime, like, with your name on it, that you're going to commit, if you know about it, and that was her big thing, you know about it, you have the choice to not make this crime now. So I think that's a way that we can, that can kind of get rid of all that gray area.
Yeah. Let's see. It's tough. Well, I think their biggest issue was they didn't really have a lot of the first degree murder because
meditated ones.
Yeah, most of it was the hard to pin ones were the crimes of passion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just putting them in a cell for 24 hours for them to cool down might just solve the issue.
That might work too, but I like to think that the dangers I think that might happen would be, like, if I get an alert that says, all right, you're going to commit a crime in 12 hours. That crime is horse theft or something like that.
Okay.
I'd be like, I wasn't even thinking of stealing a horse today, but you know what? Where is there even a horse? Where is even a Well, there's one going by right now. Huh. Well, let me see where this horse is going, let me just follow. I'm not going to steal it. I'm not going to steal the horse. But I just want to see where the horse goes. Like, I want to see how I would have the opportunity to steal this horse. Huh,
so it almost
leaving the horse.
So it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
type.
almost. I think that would be the bigger danger for me. Like, if they're just gonna leave the horse, what? I'm not gonna steal this horse, but I know I could, and I'm gonna try. Or
at least there's a reality where I did.
I feel good with that. I feel like I've earned something here. I've earned a horse. I hop on the horse and like, what? I go in the tube for horse theft?
Yeah, look, we don't really have anyone to fill the tubes. I guess people are stopping crime.
How many years have to be in the tube?
Subjectively or objectively?
How many years from your vantage point? Like, how many years am I gonna age in this tube?
Oh, you're gonna be in there for 10 minutes.
I mean, like, from your point of view, like, my cells have to age, so I'm only gonna be in there for 10 minutes?
From my point of view, yeah.
Oh. That doesn't seem so... Can I get in there longer? I mean...
Well, no, you're gonna be in there a long time, from your point of view.
Yeah, I know that, but if I'm just living out my wildest fantasies, is that... No, we've changed the program.
No, you're just in a jail. Like it.
Oh, it's an actual jail.
It's a jail fantasy.
Oh, I guess that's cheaper to program.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to worry about
jail.net.
Yeah, like you don't have to worry about like feeding the inmates, and you don't have to worry about any injuries or things like that. Don't worry, they're going to be simulated.
Oh yeah, of course.
But you're in there for 10 minutes. In the simulation, you're in there for 50 years for horse theft, and you come out recuperated.
Yeah, I like to imagine that the either it's cloud-based where you can intermix with other avatars from other prisoners, or they just program like mean people to be in there and bully you.
Like I imagine it's at first it's other inmates. They connect you in the LAN. They have a LAN server going.
It's a landline.
Yeah, and then as crime goes around, starts dying out, they have just shitty NPCs.
You can always tell which ones really committed a crime, which one don't, by how they respond to the questions you ask again and again. What are you in here for? Well, stranger, that's a good question you asked there.
Before I enter that, I require you to fetch me 3 bars of soap and 12 cigarettes.
All right, I'll be right back. What are you in here for? Fuck you. All right. So I think you're real. Yeah. So how long are you gonna be in? Fuck you.
Okay, you're an NPC.
I don't know if you're an NPC or just really mean. Like, Like I wouldn't even put like a cloud or a landline kind of thing in there.
No.
I think I would just have them be by themselves in the prison. I'd make it a scary prison. I'd make it
like a haunted prison.
Yeah, that's fine too. Yeah, that works.
All right. Well, what's a scary prison? Otherwise,
I was gonna say there's walls of fire everywhere.
a dungeon. You mean?
No, it looks like a prison, but maybe we have every now and again there's
a rack or an Iron Maiden or something like that.
Every now and
like
again,
hot pokers.
They open up the doors and in comes like a flood of beetles, and they just eat everything in their path, and you have to stand on the wall, get creative with it. Program a fun, scary prison.
Say what you want about the Inquisition. They inquired.
Yeah, listen, we're not technically hurting anybody. There's no physical scars that are being done. It's just that I don't think this guy's gonna commit a crime ever again. I don't think this guy's gonna step out of line ever again.
I imagine the suicide rate for recuperated inmates is through the roof.
If you because they'll just put a little program that this is what happened if this is hell. This is what happens if you commit suicide. Then they become all. This is just brainwashing, actually.
Yeah, it is indoctrination.
Yeah, this will be, maybe a scary prison isn't the best idea. Maybe a damp prison, maybe every now and again it floods.
He walks around, his socks are always wet.
Yeah, this is, come on. Take the socks off and they're back on.
Just underneath the socks are more wet socks.
There is no layer that isn't wet socks, so you just have to live with it. It's like the socks, what do you call it? They respawn every time you take them off. You know what? Know what I'll do? He cuts his foot off, and then his stump has a wet sock on it.
So what happens to his real foot? Does it just shrivel?
No, he's in his own mind prison,
Okay.
He's just in a tube.
His tube prison.
Yeah. And then, every now and again, the guard comes around, but the guard's a giant cockroach, and just, I'm sorry, and he talks or, no, we can do the idea we had of when the Emperor dies at the end of Star Wars.
What, with the, go on,
you don't remember?
No.
So I'm gonna refresh your memory, because this is about a week ago.
Okay.
We came up with the idea of, and also I want the people listening, I want to know your opinion about whether you'd accept this as the new ending to Return of the Jedi.
I'm starting to get some flashbacks, but keep going.
So after the Emperor gets, hold on a second, spoiler alert. After the Emperor dies at the end of Return of the Jedi.
What?
Yeah, Vader throws him down this pit, and after he explodes, we show him landing in hell. And not just any hell.
That's right.
But, the big cartoonish hell where he's in a pot with, Pete from Mickey Mouse,
take a seat!
It is your destiny! He's dressed, he's got the pitchfork and everything. On one hand, I feel like that would be such a it would be so jarring.
It would be the last thing I would have been expecting. The absolute last thing.
It would be you're watching this beautiful space opera for 3 movies. Hell, you started with the prequels and you go all the way through. You're like, you know what? This is such a complete story, and then you get the big red pitchfork Pete from Mickey Mouse Devil and a giant cauldron that the Emperor's in.
It's like at the end of The Good Son, and she lets Macaulay Culkin go. And then all of a sudden, Macaulay Culkin is dunked into a cauldron of lava.
He's smoking a cigar, Yeah.
Oh, man.
It would be okay, so I was... On one hand, I feel like it fits in... It's less tonally consistent in The Good Son than it is with Star Wars somehow.
It's because The Good Son is legitimately... It's set in reality.
Yeah.
There's
ghosts in the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, there's ghosts and lasers and magic. The Good Son is about a troubled little boy who has, who might be a sociopath.
And then
And then he dies, and Pete's dunking him in the lava.
Like, I would, as a kid, I think that would be the one scene that I remembered more than anything else in The Good Son.
That might have changed me as a person.
Would you be more or less inclined to be the sociopath?
I don't know. I think I would just grow up with trust issues. like, is this a story they're telling? Like, I don't believe anything adults tell me anymore. My life is a lie, and therefore everything else is.
You see, I think I would think of the opposite, where I'm like, this is a very realistic movie. I saw it when I was young, like 5 or 6, and then and then I see this, I'm like, oh my gosh, what my parents said about going to hell was true. Adults are always talking about this.
Or would it be like, oh, I guess hell isn't that bad. You take a warm bath in lava and you look mildly annoyed as this guy's dunking you.
Like, no, you can see the fear in his eyes as he's.
Oh, he doesn't know where he is.
Eventually, he'll warm up to it like a hot tub.
Yeah, like because he fell a long way, and then there's some guy yelling at him.
And he looks around, and he's like poking him every now and again with the pitchfork.
Yeah, that's more. I think that's more jarring than anything. Is someone stabbing you?
I like to imagine he's mixing him around with a pitchfork, stirring the pot with his giant pitchfork. I want to point out to everybody listening that, like, this is what we do in our off time.
We are always on.
Like, this is just, like, I think we thought of this, we were just, like, putting away
Shopping.
groceries.
No,
yeah.
like, we were literally in the parking lot of the apartment.
Yeah, about to come home and, from shopping, and we were just, we were just pitching ideas about this.
I don't remember which one of us suggested the hell, but
I think it was me suggested hell, but I think we were both either on the same page or you came up with it first that the devil was like
Pete
the big Pete, from Mickey Mouse, and then like from there I was like, you know what, we're just simpatico about the whole thing. Like, that is exactly what it's in my head right now.
Because to me, he's also wearing the red leotard.
Yes, and there's like, you can see the buttons, Yeah,
the buttons, like, the tail is sewn on.
Yeah. It's like he's clearly just wearing a devil costume.
Yeah, but he is in hell.
Yeah, and he is the devil. And he's smoking a cigar, but the cigar never really comes out of his mouth. He's laughing while the cigar's in it,
The cigar is more of an oral fixation than anything else.
The cigar is more of a prop at this point. It's the same thing as a pitchfork,
Oh, but Macaulay Culkin's in there just frightened.
Last thing he knows, his mom betrayed him, and now and now he's swimming in lava with old Scratch, like, poking
Forever.
at him. Yeah.
Forever. Oh man, like what other movies would have a jarring concept, like Hans Gruber? Like falls out of the building and lands, and then old Pete Stern. Oh, you're robbing them this time. I'm robbing your soul.
Oh, I hope that's a hostage. Like, I actually feel it fits more. It would fit in more with Die Hard, because Die Hard is a comedy.
Yeah,
in a way.
In a way.
Yeah, there's like, it definitely has more of it's an action movie, and action movies by definition are more lighthearted, to me at least, than a drama movie. But if you get like you get like 3 men and a baby, well, I don't think that happened. I don't think there's any opportunity for that to happen to them.
I hope not.
I've never seen a movie, Oh, we dropped the baby.
Wait,
the baby goes to hell.
Oh yeah, that baby was gonna grow up to be Hitler.
See Alex Jones now. Like, I'm trying to think of it, like, I think The Good Son was actually the perfect.
Yeah, I can't think of like the good, or maybe My Girl.
Also, Macaulay Culkin, he gets stung by the bees. Are you allergic to fire? I blew it. He got nervous. Sorry, I'm a fan.
Look, I was on the spot. I didn't think you'd be coming this early.
I really didn't think you'd come down here, but let me check the scroll. I think there's been a mistake.
Oh, that's right. It was Pacific time.
All right, well.
I guess my break's over.
Now, does he just torture one soul for all eternity, like every day, and then he like goes on, he has a day off, and then there's like another soul for eternity kind of thing?
I think like the old Scratch has his rounds. Like he'll clock in. Like there's many of them. There's there's a lot of souls.
Yeah, exactly.
But like he'll come into one of the pits and like take the lid off and then stir and yell at someone and torment them as they're boiling, then put the lid back on and go to the next one.
So it's like, all right, just keep yourself entertained.
And like as he's going, like I imagine there's like a doctor's clipboard.
Okay.
Where he kind of reads like what they did on his way to the next one, so he can think of clever puns.
Yeah, so you think of funny things to say to him, And then I also imagine that when he's not torturing them, like one of the assistants comes in, maybe starts cutting up some carrots or cucumbers and like putting it in the pot.
Yeah.
Just it's for show, but maybe starts yelling at them in a different way, like,
oh, when he comes back, boy, you gonna get it. Oh, beep, beep, beep. All right, well, that's my lot.
Puts the lid back on.
He's an apprentice. Like he's still just a demon.
Yeah. He's one of the lesser demons. He's not like what was it, like Balthazar or whatever it was? Not Balthazar. He's one of the wise men, I think.
I was going to say the mage.
No, one of the guy from Hereditary. He's one of the 8 kings of hell or something.
I don't know. It's
Chernabog. I don't know. It wasn't him, but Clem.
Clem, the 8th king of hell.
Yeah.
Or 9th king of hell, where he's in charge. He's the hell's cornfield king.
There's lots of things in hell.
Okay, you gotta be king of something.
I like to think it was a different Balthazar, because it can't be just one person who has that name.
Name another Balthazar.
Our Balthazar.
One of the elder scientists. Name 3.
All right. Balthazar. Pennywick.
Balthazar Johnson.
He was
of Des Moines, Idaho.
He played for the White Sox.
Oh man,
that's great. So yeah, that's again, but I do think it's funny that like this was really unprompted either. This because we'll just when we're doing mundane tasks, like if we're like we're cleaning up for guests, or if we're we're just going shopping, or just doing anything.
Yeah, we have to make it a bit.
Yeah, like you should see it. We play StarCraft every now and again, and you should just see us just rolling on with joke after joke after joke.
Especially if we have music on in the background.
Like we have music on, we'll just make sort of riff on the music. It's like we never give ourselves a break.
Like there can be no. We can't have silence, or else the thoughts will come back.
And then we don't want the thoughts to come back.
No, we don't.
And so we'll just riff. We'll just talk to each other and just start making jokes like, "Hey, Britton, did you ever think about what the Monopoly pieces do at night?" And then we would just joke back and forth. If one doesn't land or something doesn't land, we roll. We find something else, and then
I think they're made of inert metal that doesn't move when we do not observe them.
So, hold on a second. Are you saying that if they're not observed, they remain constant in the universe?
Well, that depends on your philosophy. If you're a I forget the term where things exist without direct observation.
Oh, okay.
And that's literally a thing. And where some people think that if it's not being observed, then it doesn't exist.
There's something that somebody I once heard somebody say that it's like, how in video games, especially like the more recent 3D video games, like they usually, at least at a certain point, they usually don't render the entire landscape, or at least they never used to. They only would do the cone that your character was looking. Mm-hmm. And everything, like, if you could, like, pull the camera out and just see everything else, it was just all, like, gray except for that cone.
That's awful.
And there are people like, what if that is what the universe is? Like, as long as you're not looking at something, like, everything that's directly behind me right now is from, basically for my own little stretch of this universe, is just gray. Like, maybe you can see behind me, but that's because behind you in your own little bubble of the universe, everything behind you is gray.
Yeah, and well, I guess we would never know, which I would be happy with. I'm like Cypher from the Matrix. Ignorance is bliss. If the universe is a simulation, I don't want to know about it. Now,
I think it'd be funny if as you die, maybe probably peacefully in the bed surrounded by loved ones, and it could happen. Oh, don't be so hard on yourself. You'd be like, all right, you all get nothing. I didn't like any of you. And then you die, and you see, like your soul floats up, and you look down, and you just see the cone of what, your last mortal thought, or your last mortal, view is of this world, and just gray behind it as you're floating up into the grayness.
Oh my god.
The infinite grayness.
I guess.
That'd be terrifying.
Though I'm guessing I'm gonna see other people.
Nope.
It's just
our own
me.
Bubble of the universe.
Oh man, so we all get our own infinite grayness.
And then you would think that eventually it would have to stop somewhere. You can't just be a floating thing forever. Eventually entropy will do its job.
I guess it would, if the soul does contain a form of energy, it would have to it would have to kind of homogenize somehow.
I think we should write this into a story where like that's what happens. The guy dies, he sees his last thought, which was of the train, and he floats up.
What the guy from that song for that by the Gambler?
No. I mean the oncoming train.
I thought you meant like the old guy from the Gambler song. He just falls asleep and he sees this cone of...
That works too, the train.
Okay.
And then he floats up and it's like, oh wow, that's all I see, but everything else is gray. And he just keeps floating and floating and floating. I'm saying he's floating for like thousands of years, where it is, I can't say it's his brain, his soul, his energy is just basically checked out, and he's just like almost catatonic.
Yeah. Like
the last view he saw, like, is just so obscured by gray, there's nothing anymore.
Like whatever room, it was like a 10 by 20 room, and he just saw a cone of that float, kind of just fall below his feet thousands of years ago, and then from there it's just gray in all directions.
Yeah, infinite gray. And then, like, in the middle of, like, 1,000 years later, he just, as he goes up, maybe he lands in another cone, and now he's somehow, through just random chance, somehow got into another person's universe bubble. Now, I don't know where it's gonna go from here. I don't know, like, maybe, I don't want it to be the simple answer of, oh, this is his new life, he's being reborn.
No,
I don't want it to be that.
That's what ghosts are.
Yeah. That's
why they're so angry and throwing things around.
But I want him to, like, and this guy who's in this cone, he hasn't died yet. This guy in this universe bubble, that he's just a normal
guy.
Yeah, he's just a normal guy walking around. He's got to basically follow him and stay in his cone, or else he risks losing him to infinity again.
It's awful.
That's an interesting idea. I wonder where it could go. Maybe it's like, I got a guardian angel looking over me, and it's just this guy who's trying to keep him alive for as long as he can to stay in that blessed cone.
Like, I don't like anything with infinities.
Yeah, I know.
So there's a red flag there. And then I don't like you
don't like people.
I don't like people, especially people I don't know. I don't like cones.
Anything conical is, to me, is a red flag also.
Like, concentricity is just bad altogether.
So how about we just not do that? How about we have, one where there's a guy sitting by himself in the room, everything's fine, no cones, no infinite grayness, he's just
dead, and it's over.
He's just dead and happy. Can we just get that? They leave the corpse alone. Can we just do a movie where they just leave the corpse alone for a few minutes?
And then he just dies, and it's Pete dunking him in the in the cauldron again.
So you don't like cones, huh? I don't like them either. It's daylight savings time. Really.
You make a cone joke.
Something about ice cream cones, maybe?
You can't. I'm just gonna put the lids back on. Little shit.
Okay. Sends him to super hell.
Was it just a lever and then the cauldron lowers?
Yeah, I like to imagine it's just like a flush. And he goes down.
I imagine it's the same thing though. It's just someone else twirling his cauldron.
I imagine super hell is I wonder what would be like super hell's infinite grayness.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'll be good. No, you won't. That's why you're in super hell.
It's the ultimate cone. It's like that big funnel that you put your coin in to make it go around the and for some reason it's a very stable orbit, and he never goes down.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
But there's always the looming risk that he could, and wherever down is, he doesn't know.
Yeah. And
he's back in the cauldron. That's what's down there.
After about 4 billion years of swirling the drain, he finally gets in there, and then boy, is he not going to make another ice cream joke.
Oh, and where's your cone jokes?
Huh? You want to have a cone joke? Come on, speak to me.
Oh, we got another one.
All right, well, if you don't say something soon, I'm sending you back.
And they just put him in that one of those wailing hell walls where just people, or they just stick the catatonic people who just don't do anything but sit there or scream. You know the ones.
Yeah, that sounds like my future. Just sitting there and screaming. That seems like the life for me.
I think I'm more than likely the one encased in ice. Though I would have to have done something pretty bad.
You're a traitor?
Yeah, I don't think I am, but it just seems like something that would happen to me.
Seems like where I'd be, friend.
I don't think I would do anything traitorous. I think it's just, this. We base Hell's more on personality types. It's like guidance counseling for torture.
So guidance counseling, yeah. I think that, the vestibule is just being chased around by bees all the time. I think that'd be pretty awful.
Yeah, and that's just for the people who weren't baptized.
Listen, really not your fault, but you're still getting the bees.
You could have done it at some point.
You're telling me, look at this. We're just gonna pull up the tape. This is you. This is you on, Sunday, November 4th, 1965, and you're just watching a football game.
Yes.
And you're not being baptized.
No, I'm not.
So you're telling me that you could have missed maybe 15 minutes of the game to just go down to the church, it's only 15 minutes away, in your Studebaker.
Yes.
Get baptized, and you wouldn't be chased around by bees.
I didn't know bees were a thing.
This book, you didn't know about bees.
I didn't know about the bees.
This book has been around since literally since 1400 AD.
Look, he doesn't know what hell. He's just guessing.
Well, he had a pretty good guess because he described the bees.
Look, I know that now, but this wasn't canonized.
So we're gonna go to the tape. This is November 11th. 1965,
yes,
same thing, football game, Studebaker.
Yeah, you're gonna find a lot of those.
Alright, so, this is you. This is the next day.
Yeah.
You decide to sleep in early.
Yes.
And
I work the night shift, so I have to.
yes. So while you were sleeping in, getting an
Yes.
extra half hour, you push snooze. Here it
did.
is, right there.
Yes.
And you got an extra half hour sleep.
It was great.
Yeah. But going down,
Mm-hmm.
getting baptized, 15 minutes, you could have come up with a net bonus here.
Look, I like, I'm fine if you want to point out all these times I didn't do it because it beats getting stung by bees.
No, don't get me wrong. Like, this is just softening you up for the beach. We do that like every because I think they run laps or something. It's like every 60 billion laps, we stop you and we show you the video again, and we point it out to you, and then right back onto the laps. So
Am I gonna get fit from the laps?
I mean, you could. It results aren't typical, but it's happened before. I mean, look at old Jesse over there. Like,
Huh.
yeah. Oh, he's been going for 2 trillion years. So
Man,
yeah,
like, that's not even how time works.
yeah. And you know what? He's got wet socks the whole time.
Oh,
Be
man.
lucky you're not Jesse. All right.
What'd he do?
Well, he didn't get baptized.
Yeah, but would he get super not? Would he have it? Why does he have to have wet socks?
Oh, he died in wet socks.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why you're wearing the parka. So so all right, back to it.
I don't think I'm gonna.
Release the bees. No, let him take me.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna get stung either way. You know what I'm not going to do? Run.
Uh,
I'm gonna take one method of torture out of the equation.
no, you can't do that.
I am. Look, I'm sitting down.
Release more bees.
Look. Those bees are gonna sting me either way.
All right, Jesse, come here.
Kick him.
You lose the wet socks, Jesse. We give them to Bill. Yeah? Well, I'm not gonna run in the wet socks, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I'm just gonna take them off. Hey! Hey!
He's breaking the rules. You can't do that.
All right, send him down.
Looks like.
Don't like the bees, huh? I didn't like the bees either. It's Macaulay Culkin from My Girl.
And he enjoys it. He's like Bugs Bunny when he's in the cauldron, getting in
Singing.
the yeah. When he thinks he's taking a bath, but he's going to be cooked. What is wrong with these people? They keep sitting down.
He's a millennial.
Oh. Yeah, that was getting back to the Minority Report. I know which we tend to avoid doing, but
No, that's all right. We're
like I know, like one of the things we were discussing is Lars von Trier. I think was that who it was.
the guy's name.
Yeah,
Oh, it was Max von Sydow. so-
Max von Sydow. I don't know where Lars von Trier.
Well, his name was like Larson Latrell something. I don't know.
Yeah, Max von Sydow. And judging by how old he was supposed to be with the what year it was, like he would have been a millennial. He would have been this old millennial. And it was just funny to think like this old kind of dignified man just doing like millennial quotes like "I just can't even," or "Where's my doggo?"
He's a good doge. But on that note, Minority Report.
An alright movie. It kind of has a few crow's feet, from not aging very well, but overall, an entertaining enough movie. If you if you haven't seen it, you're not wasting your time.
I'm gonna recommend it just because I liked it more for its faults than for its successes. Like, it is I didn't expect that this movie would be as supremely goofy and downright silly as it was at times, but it's almost endearing because of that. So if you haven't seen it and you kind of like goofy movies, especially ones that are like not trying to be goofy movies, then give it a shot, because you're probably gonna have yourself a good time one way or another. So all right, that'll do it for us.
A Tulu.
quote a little SOBs.